All right. Yo to the YouTube stream, man. Welcome in. This is another edition of the ChrisBeCappinn show. Today is December 29th, 2022. I'm your host, Chris. This is the show where we're just trying to get some cash, man. Trying to get some cash. I try to handicap these games, help people with their analysis, also find ways to make money by betting the NBA. So today we got a pretty good slate. I think the sides in the NBA have been a little janky, a little tricky to bet recently. So I've been trying to stay off of those. I got some player props that I really like today and some analysis that I want to share with you guys on why I'm taking those plays. But if you could hit the like button for me, show some support, man. Always doing this every single day. Like I said, trying to help people to become better bettors while also becoming a better myself. Always willing to learn from people as well. So enjoy taking the time out of my day to do this, man. When I'm not doing this, I'm playing, watching basketball. So big part of my life. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. I don't even have banners for today. Been kind of busy today. So like I said, let's get into it. Hit the like button for me, retweet as well. Let's get into it though. So first game up. Oh, so hold on. Let me finish the recap from yesterday because I did not. I think I had another play. And I like to make sure I always do my recaps. Let's see. Did I go over? Did I touch everything? I did touch everything. The one winner that I gave out was Aiden. That was a pretty non-sweat bet. Aiden absolutely dominated the Washington Wizards like I figured he would. Most centers do. So that went well. But moving forward, man, it's always about the next day. It's always about the next play. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. Appreciate you guys for watching on YouTube as well. First game up that we are going to talk about will be the first game up that we're going to be talking about will be the Oklahoma City and the Charlotte Hornets game. So this game opened with Charlotte being a 1-point favorite at home. It's come down just a tad bit. There's still some places got them at a 1.5-point favorite. Some places got them as a pick. The total in this one is moving from 240 down to 238, which I think I agree with there. Both of these teams do play pretty fast pace. What's interesting to note in this game, and you typically don't see this a lot, is that these teams are coming off two really different environments. So Charlotte, this will be their first game back home after 6 straight road games, typically a spot you want to fade teams in, and their third game in 4 nights as well. So they had no time to readjust, from the West Coast trip back to the East Coast. And then for OKC, this will be their first road game after 7 straight home games. They are the more rested team, but this is one road game, and then they go back home for some more home games. So not a spot you necessarily want to back them in as well. OKC is 10-4 against the spread as an away dog this season, but most of the time that's when they're typically big away dogs. So in this pick'em type spot, I don't really want to back them here. I don't want to back Charlotte at the crib as well. They are the Oklahoma City Thunder are 4-1 against the spread when the line is 5.5 or less. Charlotte is only 5-9-1 against the spread at home. Of course, a lot of those games came without LaMelo Ball. He was not available for those games. So one of the ways I was looking to attack this, and I'm just sharing notes with you guys, is looking at the under, right? And I kind of talked about agreeing there. So teams playing their first home game after 5 straight road games are 8-3 to the under in the first game, in their first game back home. So that would suggest that this total will go under the 240. 239, 238 is what you see it at. And it's also just a high total. Charlotte's 4-2 to the under versus the West at home, 6-3 to the under when home and playing off 1 day's rest. So some support to kind of back the under there. Injury wise, Pokusevski is out. I'm pretty sure most people do know who Pokusevski is. Pokusevski is out in this one, which leads to these are 2 of the worst rebounding teams in the league. I think a lot of people know that already. Pokusevski is one of the better rebounders for this game. I see Markel talking about it in the chat. LaMelo Ball double-double, Josh Giddey double-double, and Mason Plumlee double-double. I could see all 3 of those things happening. What I looked at specifically in this game, I do have Giddey rebounds written down. They're at 8.5. Last night when it opened, it was about even money. I think it's been kind of juiced down to the under. I like it a lot. He's the best rebounder for this team, and without Pokusevski, he should get more rebounds. And we know we've been attacking the the Charlotte Hornets, the big men that play against the Charlotte Hornets, because they don't rebound the ball well. They absolutely do not. A spot that we kind of cashed in on their whole West Coast trip last week. So I couldn't talk anybody off Josh Giddey double-double. I think that's definitely in play. I didn't play it, but I like Josh Giddey double-double a lot in this game. Should be a lot of misses. Should be, he should definitely get to 10 points and, get to probably 10 rebounds, even though his line's sitting at 8.5. So couldn't talk anybody off Giddey today. Also, Plumlee rebounds are at 10.5. Richards did get upgraded to questionable, which is one of the reasons why I'm not official on this play. OKC allowing the 13th. They allow 13 offensive rebounds per game on the road, which is the most in the league. They also allow 36 defensive rebounds on per game on the road, which is the second most in the league. You put those two things together, they're combined. They allowed 49.4 rebounds, which is the most in the league on the road. So OKC is not the greatest rebounding team. A lot of it is not because of effort. They're out there playing with effort. They just don't have a lot of big bodies, right? So Plumlee, his double-double was plus 125. I looked at that, didn't play it either. He does have a double-double. I think he has had a double-double recently. So I can see Plumlee getting his double-double. I can see Giddey going over his 8.5 rebounds, but none of those things I played. What I did play in this game was I played LaMelo. You can take his double-double, or you can just take his double-double should be plus money. I played LaMelo 8 rebounds, just the 8 rebounds. I think you could sprinkle on his triple-double. I think that's also in play. But his rebounds, when I looked at it, were 6.5. And it was minus 138 on one of the books that I was looking at. So I just took him straight at 8. 8 rebounds for LaMelo is plus 120. He's over the number in 4 straight games, averaging 9 rebounds on 12.3 rebound chances. I think it's a lot of misses in this game. LaMelo is their second best rebounder for this team as well, outside of Mason Plumlee. So I took LaMelo over the 8 rebounds. 8 rebounds or more, plus 120. Smaller play for me, but I did take LaMelo. Like I said, I think it's double doubles in play. I think it's triple doubles in play in a game like this, especially being back home. So couldn't talk anybody off of any of those. I just didn't go official because it is the third game in 4 nights for Charlotte and could be a sleepy spot for them traveling back from West Coast to East Coast. But I did take LaMelo. 8 rebounds is what I played in this game. Not getting involved with the side at all. Let me make sure I have my other phone as well. Okay, so make sure we're not getting any updated injury news real quick while I am talking. Kyle Lowry, Gabe Vincent, that's all stuff for tomorrow. Jimmy Butler tomorrow, Trae Young. Okay, we haven't gotten anything. All right, so next game I want to talk about is this Cleveland Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers game. We still don't know the injury status of Tyrese Halliburton, which makes this game unplayable in my estimation. What I will say is this though: the Cleveland Cavaliers they have been at the crib, right? We know the Cleveland Cavaliers they've been at home playing. I think it was 6 straight home games is what they had at the crib. So now you get them on the road where they have not functioned well recently. This team is just 6-9 against the spread on the road. Also, they've lost 4 games in a row traveling from home to road. So their first game on the road after being at home, they've lost 4 straight. That's not even against the spread. That's actually 4 straight. But the problem is you can't back the Pacers in my estimation, I can't back the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton, right? Also, what else do I have on this team? They've lost 8 of their last 10 against the spread on the road as well. As an away favorite, they're only 1-4 ATS and straight up last 5 as well. The lone win came against against the Detroit Pistons. The Pacers are also 2-0 against the spread at home when they're projected to lose by 5 points or more. So I would look towards the Pacers if Halliburton was ruled in. But official play for me, I am. One more thing I want to mention before I give an official play. Andrew Nembhard. This dude, if Halliburton is ruled out, I'm jumping on his assist. That will be an official play for me if he is ruled out. I went back and looked at it because Tyrese Halliburton was a little banged up at the end of that game against the Atlanta Pacers the other day. You look at Andrew Nembhard. If they put the keys in this guy's hands tonight, he could absolutely go crazy. The Cavs defense is, I will caution you guys, The Cavs defense is the best defense on the road as far as assists allowed to point guards. Well, I'm sorry, not assists allowed to point guards. Assists overall. They allowed the least amount of assists on the road so far this season. But I don't care. I'm taking Nembhard if Tyrese Halliburton is out. So Nembhard he started 2 games without Halliburton this year. One of those games he had 8 assists against the Blazers, and the other game he had 13 assists in Golden State against the Warriors. Versus the Blazers, he had 26 potential assists, and versus the Warriors, he had 27 potential assists. I know that the pace is going to be a lot slower. The Blazers are a pretty slow-paced team as well, but I do feel like them being at home, having some rest, I will be looking at Nembhard assists. I'm projecting the line probably will be 7.5, and it probably will be juiced. But if it opens at 8, if it opens at 9, I'm probably still gonna look at Nembhard assists in this one with no Halliburton. I also look at what's his name? Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's actually been playing really, really well. We know that this is extremely difficult for the Cleveland to score in the paint against the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I'll be looking at Buddy Hield points and Nembhard assists in this one if Tyrese Halliburton is ruled out. Official play for me, though, I did take Donovan Mitchell over his 27.5 points. Almost got there with Garland and took his under as well. And I've talked about this before. Their offense is Donovan Mitchell on the road. Tyrese Halliburton, not Tyrese Halliburton. Darius Garland disappears on the road. I'm not 100% sure why. I actually love Darius Garland, but he disappears on the road. His home road splits are absolutely crazy. I think he's averaging like 16 points. His line's sitting at 20.5. Not 100% sure why. I think the books figure eventually he's going to have a good game, but I almost took his PRAs under the 32.5. I told you guys yesterday, I tweeted it out that I'm going to be looking for some unders, and this was one of the ones that I was actually looking at. Didn't take it, though, but I am on Donovan Mitchell, his over 27.5 points. Here's the reasons why. So I talked about him being, pretty much their only offense on the road. Donovan Mitchell's averaging 29.5 points on the road this season. Over 27.5 in 8 of his last 10 road games. That's 80%. Donovan Mitchell has cashed his points prop on the road in his last 10 road games. He's shot the ball at least 20 times in 5 of his last 6 road games. Really good track record against the Pacers as well. He scored 41 points against them earlier this season. That game was at home. He scored 37 last season in Indiana. Versus Indiana in Indiana as well when he was playing on the Utah Jazz. Indiana also is allowing the 5th most points to shooting guards over the last 7 games, the 9th most threes to shooting guards over the last 7 games as well. I looked at his threes, looked at his points, and I think I'm gonna just take I did take his points versus taking his threes. But Donovan Mitchell, I feel like you could take Donovan Mitchell up to I think that's Jorge in the chat said 28.5 too high. I don't think so. I think Donovan Mitchell goes for 30 today. And I'll probably ladder him up to 30. Not going to get it when I was official, but I think if he gets to 27.5, they're going to need him to score. Like I said, a lot of these role players for the Cleveland Cavaliers don't play as well. Their games doesn't travel on the road. So I like Donovan Mitchell in this spot. 27.5 official play for me. Couldn't talk anybody off 28.5 either. That's what I got in that game. So 2 games down. Next game, extremely interesting game. The Clippers and the Boston Celtics, right? So line in this one opened at 6 in favor of Boston. It's moved to 6.5. So money coming in on Boston. Total in this one, 227.5 is up to 228. Man, some interesting stuff on both sides in this one. I really want to play the Clippers. I'm probably not going to get there. I feel like the line's a tad bit disrespectful, even though the Boston Celtics, we know how great they are, right? So what I got for you guys. So Clippers, 4th game of a 5-game road trip. One of the reasons why I'm probably going to stay off the side. Teams don't function well when it's their 4th game of a 5-game road trip most of the time. Also for the Clippers, it's their 3rd game in 4 nights. Another big reasons why I'm probably going to stay off of it. But if I had to play a spread in this one, I don't think that the Boston Celtics are 7 points better than the Clippers. Maybe if they won on the 3rd game in 4 nights, I feel better back in the Clippers in this spot. But the Clippers have functioned well on the fourth game and on their third game in 4 nights. So what else I got for you guys? The Celtics, they are only 2-5-1 ATS revenge same season losses this season. And if you look at them at home, they're only 1-2 against the spread revenge same season losses. They beat the Bulls by 4. That was at the beginning of the season. They beat the Mavs by 13, but they did lose outright to the Magic. And I think that Magic game is indicative of just the length, right? Like, I think in order to beat this, not even beat, but in order to stay close against a team like the Boston Celtics, you have to have guys that can switch, right? You have to have guys that can guard Jason Tatum, that can guard Jaylen Brown, not guard them because nobody can, but at least be able to kind of slow those guys down. And I feel like a lot of what the Magic have is also what the Clippers have. So like I said, if I had to play a side in this one, I'd be catching the points with the Clippers. The Clippers are also healthier than they have been all season. This is the first game they didn't have anybody on the injury report. They had a clean injury report, something that you don't see. What else do I have in my notes? 5th best 3-point defense the Clippers have last 5 games. When it comes to opponent makes, attempts, and their 16th in opponent 3-point percentage. We know that the Celtics like to shoot a ton of threes. The Clippers have only been away dogs twice this season with both PG and Kawhi in, and they're 1-1 against the spread and straight up in that spot. The loss came last week against the Philadelphia 76ers, but they only lost that game by 4 points. To me, 7 feels like a lot. Clippers 4-2 against the spread, playing on their third game in 4 nights this season, and they're 8-3 straight up when PG and Kawhi both play. So I would be looking towards the Clippers. I know a lot of money's coming in on the Celtics. Couldn't talk anybody off, but for me, if I had to play in this one, I'd definitely be taking the points with the Clippers. I feel like the lines just haven't adjusted as much. Also, looking at that game, I do like the over. Didn't place it. Probably going to stay off the total in that one because I feel like if the Clippers keep this one close, it could be because they bring their defense. I got a lot of stuff on both sides, right? So the total, I got more on the over than the under, but I kind of stayed off the total. The Clippers are 4-0 to the over in their last 4 games. I think the books just haven't quite adjusted to Kawhi being back and kind of helping them to score more. This team averages about 3 more points per game with Kawhi in versus with them out. I think it's 114 to 111 overall. The Clippers are also 6-1 to the over as away dogs, 7-0 to the over in away games versus the East, 4-1 to the over when they have a day off. So they are playing on 1 day's rest. So 4-1 to the over when they have a day off in the last 5 games with Kawhi. 5-1 to the over with Kawhi in away games. 5 straight overs. Like I said, I don't think the books have caught on yet. Celtics 7-0 to the over when they're home favorites of 7 points or less. Also 4-2 to the over versus the West at home. 10-4 to the over playing on 1 day's rest at home as well. I couldn't get there with the total, so I set the total out in this one. Malcolm Brogdon still remains questionable. Blake Griffin just also got ruled out in this game for tonight. Another way I was looking to attack this game, I feel like Kawhi steps up, has a really big game. His points are at 21.5. I couldn't talk anybody off of that. His minutes are slowly but surely starting to increase. It's not really a minutes limit when you're playing 35 plus minutes, which is what he played in the last few games. His points, rebounds, and assists is at 31.5. Not gonna lie to you guys, I got it in my best slip, just haven't hit the button yet. One of the reasons why I'm a little hesitant and reluctant to hit the button is because with the Clippers having a full roster, I don't necessarily know that Kawhi has to be the guy, right? We saw this team in Toronto the other day. Kawhi has no hesitation in referring to his teammates, right? He didn't hit his PRA in the last game. He didn't hit his points either because he didn't need to. They have guys that can fill it up on this team, man. Reggie Jackson, it's a by committee type team. PG and Kawhi are the main guys, but I think Zubac could have a big game because Robert Williams is still getting his minutes increased, so I think he could have still continue to have a big game. I also think guys like Luke Kennard and Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell also contribute. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't lock PG in. One of the reasons why I didn't lock Kawhi in, but I do like Kawhi in this spot tonight. Moving along, let's see what else I got for you guys. Let's see. Oh, no, not moving along. So another official play I got in this game. Staying off the side, staying off the total, lean towards the Clippers plus the points, lean towards the over. I'm on Tatum in this spot. Tatum over 38.5. I took his points plus rebounds in this spot. And one of the things I looked at, shout out to my guy Austin A. Wang. I don't see him in the chat, but he showed me a new way of kind of looking into these player props. So I did some deep diving, and what I looked at was when the Boston Celtics are home favorites, and it's projected to be a game that's not a blowout, so 7 points or less, right? Tatum has shown up really, really big in this spot. He scored at least 31 points in 6 of the 8 games so far this season. That falls in that category of them being a home favorite of 7 points or less. And he's grabbed at least 7 rebounds in that spot each game as well. He finished with 30 one time against the Sacramento Kings. And he had a game where he had 14 points against the Miami Heat, which was the second game of a 2-game homestand between the two teams. But he's also over in 5 of his last 6 games. And recently, they've been at home. They've been at home for 5 straight games. This will be their 6th straight game. And versus the Western Conference at home, Tatum has scored at least 31 points. I think in 5 of 7 games. I don't know why I didn't write the rest of that down, but it was a pretty high percentage. So I think I think it's a big game. Tatum didn't go over his points prop in the last game when these two teams played 2 weeks ago in LA, but I think he bounced back in a pretty big way today. I think he also gets up for a game like this. So what up, Jay? My guy Jay in the chat. So yeah, I'm on Tatum. I'm on Tatum over the 38.5 points plus rebounds. I like Tatum to go over the 38.5 points plus rebounds in this game. Like I said, I think to me it feels like the Clippers are catching a tad bit too many points. I don't think that the books are respecting them enough. The Celtics also, like I said, just 1-2-1 against the spread, revenging same season losses even when they're at home. So give me Tatum over the 38.5 points plus rebounds. Another reason why I took the points plus rebounds and put it together is just because Tatum, he can have games where he has 12, 13 rebounds. And I think that's something that we need to look at, right? We got to make sure we're and he could also have a game where he has 35 points and only has 8 rebounds. Either way, we cash, right? So give me Tatum over 38.5 points plus rebounds in this spot. Moving along to the Memphis and Toronto game, not a game I really want to touch, man. The spread opened in favor of Memphis Grizzlies. -2.5 is up to 3. I know Fred VanVleet was injured, was on the injury report. He's still listed as questionable, hasn't been ruled in, hasn't been ruled out. Raptors just 1-4 against the spread, playing on their first leg of a back-to-back. So I don't want to back them in this spot. They've also just been trash at home recently. I don't think that they've covered last 4 games. You look at this Memphis team, they're just 4-13 against the spread on the road, 0-3-1 last 4 games, playing on 1 day's rest, and they're only 1-8 against the spread. Their last 9 road games versus a team with a winning record, a winning home record, right? Memphis is, however, 2-0 last two games ATS in Memphis. I do feel like this team is eventually going to turn the switch, but I can't back them. I lost some big money last week, and I told you guys about it because I backed them in Denver, and that was enough for me to stay off the game in Golden State. All know that one looked super easily, and we saw what happened to him. Also, just got smacked up against the Suns. To me, it feels like a get right spot for him, but they're gonna have to earn my money. So I need to see it before I believe it. Looking at this game, I do feel like some of the struggles for Memphis has been trying to reacclimate Desmond Bane. I tweeted it out the other day. But you can't trust the role players. Jared Jackson Jr. seems to get in foul trouble. It feels like every single game, picking up fouls that your niece and nephew would in a youth league game, right? Having to go sit on the bench 9 seconds into the third quarter. So I can't back the role players for this Grizzlies team. Ever since Ja came out and said that they don't have anybody to look forward to except the Celtics, this team's been absolutely getting thrashed. So Memphis is 7-0. The under is 7-0 in the Grizzlies' last 7 road games versus the team with the winning home record, because their offense typically doesn't translate on the road. They're also 4-0 to the under in their last 4 road games, and the under is 19-3 in the last 22 meetings in Toronto. So that's a really, really strong trend that kind of keeps me towards the under. I also feel like if Fred VanVleet does happen to sit in this game, I'm not going to be able to back this Toronto offense to be able to score, even though they are 5-0 to the over in their last 5 home games. So I think Fred VanVleet influences the total a lot, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of stayed off the total, even though I wanted to get there on the over. So no official play for me in that game. Just kind of wanted to share notes with you guys there. Two more games. So the next game is the New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. So this one was pretty easy to me, right? I know we have some manipulation of the injury report with this one. The Knicks, Jalen Brunson listed as a game time decision. They're also going to be without RJ Barrett, but for me, I just kind of feel like on the San Antonio side, we know that this team is tanking. They're not trying to win. They win a game, they lose a game, they win a game, they lose 5 more, then they try to win one. The spread in this one is at 5. It's come down to 4.5 in some spots, but kind of stayed at that 5. The total in this one has dropped from 229.5 down to 224. And I don't have a play on the total, but I did take San Antonio. I'm sorry, I did take the Knicks. I took the Knicks in the first half. I think if you're going to bet the Knicks, you bet them in the first half. For me, I took you look at the Knicks team, they are 25-10 ATS in the first half, which is the best record in the league. Also 12-5 ATS in the first half on the road, which is also the best in the league. Last 10 road games, they're 9-1 against the spread in the first half, 5-0 last 5 games in the first half, 3-0 last 3 games in the first half. So for me, it just kind of feels like the Knicks should come out and want to punch first, especially the way they got embarrassed against the Dallas Mavericks the other day, kind of letting that game slip away. They were 5-point dogs in Dallas, getting 5 points, 5.5, depending on where you got the number, in Dallas, and they were winning that game. I think they were winning that game by almost double digits at halftime the other day. So for me, I think you take the more motivated team, you take the team that's not tanking. And I also don't really worry. I don't care if Brunson plays or not in this game. The reason why I don't is because the Knicks have so many guards, right? You talk about McBride. They have a ton of guards. Quickly came in and filled the role, very, very well. I will probably be looking at Quickly assists. I know he had double-digit assists in that last game. If he gets to start today, defensively, Thibodeau likes to rely on his defensive lineups and Quickly plays well. All he needs is, the opportunity. So give me the Knicks first half. I'm scared to take this team full game. Anything can happen in the NBA, especially in the second half. And we've seen the Knicks kind of, just melt down over and over and over again. So give me the Knicks first half in this game, minus the 2.5. I think that number is widely still available. Also, I had the Spurs just being 4-6 against the spread first half at home. So I like the Knicks. Give me the Knicks first half in this one. Last game up, Houston Rockets and the Dallas Mavericks. Spread in this one opened at 12. It's come down from 12 down to 10. I see a 9.5 on the board at Westgate as well. Total in this one has gone up from 223 to 226. I would agree with the total going up, right? I think it's a sleepy spot for the Dallas Mavericks. You look at this Dallas team, they're coming off and Fred VanVleet did just get ruled out as well. So that, and Precious Achiuwa just got ruled out. Brogdon just got ruled out. He's sick. He's not playing today. I talked about Blake Griffin already. Koloko is available to play. Okay, so we're getting some breaking news right now as well. Another reason why I couldn't touch that total. Without Fred VanVleet, I feel like the game could – I don't know how Fred VanVleet influences the total, but I can't imagine that the game goes over without him. Probably another reason to look at Memphis. I think that the spread probably moves in Memphis' way, probably a tad bit more. This game might close at 3.5, maybe even 4 without Fred VanVleet. The lines are going to be the injuries are going to be baked into the line, but not 100%, right? Josh Linenberg, I follow him. He said VanVleet and Achiuwa are out tonight. Koloko is available. Nurse says Fred VanVleet is day-to-day with the back issue. Would expect Precious to make his return versus Phoenix tomorrow. So that's what we got there for you guys. Just some up-to-date stuff for you guys. So back to this Houston and Dallas game. So I would agree with the total going up. I think it's a sleepy spot for Dallas. They are coming off an overtime win where Luka was exhausted. He talked about it. Extremely tired after that game. He had to fight hard. Historical performance, first 60-point, 20 rebound, triple-double in NBA history, right? And you look at this team, they are still extremely short-handed. Dorian Finney-Smith is not in there. And another thing, I always talk about wanting to face teams off overtime games, right? So one of the things I looked at was since the start of last season, and you can look farther back, but since the start of last season, these teams that went to overtime in their last game, playing on only 1 day's rest, and have to cover their next game, they're double-digit favorites. Those teams are only 4-6 against the spread. So they only covering 40% of the time. The problem with that is the Houston Rockets, in my estimation, are also a really bad team, when you look at them and they're 10-point dogs or less. So I like this. To me, the only way you play this game is you take the Houston Rockets plus the points. But I know that's an ugly, ugly play. But there's no way I'm laying 10 points with Dallas coming off an overtime game. Maybe you look towards Luka PRA to go over. We know that he absolutely owns the Houston Rockets, but I'm not officially on anything in this game. I do feel like Houston should be able to score because in my estimation, the Dallas Mavericks should go into overtime probably influences your defense more than influence your offense. If you're tired, you typically don't want to run, right? You don't want to use your legs as much. So I would look towards the Houston Rockets to be able to score a little bit more than they typically do. On the road, because this team is one of the lowest scoring teams on the road. Let me see what their team total is, matter of fact, real quick. I would look for the Houston Rockets to be able to score. Their team total opened at 106 and it's up to 108. We know that the Mavs don't play play with a lot of pace, but I would only be able to look towards the Houston Rockets. I think their team total could be in play over the 108 in this one. They did just go to Chicago in a game that was not a conference game, but they scored 133 points against Chicago Bulls the other day in this, in a spot that was very, very similar in this one. So that's the way I would look in this game. Also had a lean towards Jalen Green under his points, rebounds, and assists. Just based on the line, like I said, I found a new way to kind of cap these player props and look at these players in specific situations. So when you look at the Houston Rockets as away dogs, of 10 points or less, he's gone under his points, rebounds, and assists. I think it's 29.5. He's gone under that number in 8 of 10 matchups. So that's an 80% cover rate if you were just to fade, Jalen Green when he's an away dog of 10 points or less. So just kind of wanted to bring you guys the information, man. I'll go over my officials real quick, and then I'll open it up to you guys. If anybody else got anything that they want to share, send me a request. Official plays for me. Knicks first half minus a 2.5. I'm getting in and getting out with them, not sticking around to see how the second half go. If I cash in the first half, probably gonna turn the game off. Don't even care about the rest of it. Donovan Mitchell, I'm on his points plus over 27.5 for Donovan Mitchell. Like I said, I think if you just go back and look at the numbers, the Cleveland Cavaliers offense does not travel on the road. For whatever reason, Darius Garland plays terrible on the road. I think Donovan Mitchell comes out, shoots the ball at least 22 times. Give me his over 27.5 points. Also couldn't talk anybody, off taking his 30 points, especially coming off a couple losses at the crib, right? So if I got to rely on anybody on that Cavs offense, it's going to be Donovan Mitchell. Couldn't talk anybody off laddering them to 30 for the plus money as well. I'm probably going to do that, but that'll be a personal play. Official play, over the 27.5 for Donovan Mitchell. Knicks first half, minus 2.5. Tatum, over 38.5 points plus rebounds. That's what I'm on today. Pretty short show. I know I'm on for 30 minutes, but pretty short show. Didn't really like a lot after, taking a deeper dive into these games, looking at some SDQL, some trends. Really want to get there with Memphis, but still don't feel like I can back them, right? Fred VanVleet, not there for Toronto, but Toronto is a really good defensive team. Last time I tried to play Toronto, it was just last week against the Cleveland Cavaliers in Cleveland. And they came out and, absolutely, slowed down the Cleveland Cavaliers offense. I could see them putting OG Anunoby on Ja Morant and the other guys not playing well. Toronto also off a loss to the Clippers. So it's not like they're going to overlook the Memphis Grizzlies. They probably also want to beat the Memphis Grizzlies in this spot. So, that's where I am. Let's see what I got in the chat real quick before I get up some speakers. Joe said, man, I want to pull the trigger on the Pacers, but I can't. Yeah, I want to pull the trigger on the Pacers as well. I don't know if Halliburton, I don't think we got news on Halliburton yet. It feels like we should get it soon. If Halliburton is ruled in this one, the spread probably drops from 5 to probably about 4. I think it goes back to open, probably about 4. I think Halliburton means that much to the offense. Now, if he's ruled out, I told you guys, if Halliburton is ruled out, I'm jumping on Nembhard assists over 8.5. Excuse me. It's probably going to come out about 8.5, 7.5. I think the Cavaliers, first road game in a while, absolutely like Nembhard. He, like I said, dude has in two career starts, Andrew Nembhard has 56 potential assist opportunities in 2 games as a starter this year. So I like him, especially with them being at home. But that's the way I kind of look at that game. And I would play if Halliburton is ruled in, I would look towards the Pacers as well, but nothing that I put my money on. Spurs usually check out in the fourth. Sometimes they check out early, sometimes they check out late, Steve. This isn't a play on the Spurs. This is more so a play for me on the Knicks, which is why I jumped on them first half -2.5. Point Scotty. Yeah, Scotty Barnes assist will definitely be in play. I'm glad you pointed that one out, Myron. That's something interesting to note as well. I need to write that down actually. When Scotty does I'm gonna look at Siakam. Siakam assists without it was something that we played a lot last year when Fred VanVleet was injured. Siakam over his assists for me. If you guys want to look towards Scotty Barnes, that's totally fine. But I'm gonna be doing a little more research on Siakam assists without Fred VanVleet being ruled in. So I'll look that one up. If I see something I like, I'll tweet that out for you guys as well. Fremont said, "Give me Grizzlies trifecta." Sound ugly, but let's go. Okay. Hey, you jumping out there in the water, Fremont. It could be a spot where they get it done. They should be able to get it done. But I'm not doing it. Knicks go dry in the second half. That's absolutely correct. Shout out to my guy Jay Money in the chat. Jay, I got to get you on the show, bro. You got to jump into space, man, like you used to every now and then. But yeah, let's get to some guests, man. I want to get to Bookie first, and then I'll get to you, Ben, and Troy. I'm gonna try to get you in as well. What up, Bookie? How you doing today, my brother?
Yeah, what up, Chris? How we doing, man? So I only got one play. I've been getting these late starts, man. It's really tough to kind of get a good look at the slate. So I only got one play official, and there's a couple looks I've been looking at. I'll share. So obviously, like you, I love Mitchell. I placed Mitchell 25 plus the win, but the more you were talking about the Pacers, man, I definitely just like Mitchell's points straight up now. I might sprinkle just 0.5 on that to try to mini hedge if Pacers do come out and win that game. But Mitchell.
Hold on, Bookie, real quick. We got breaking news from Chris Fedor. He's one of the Indiana Pacers beat writers that I follow, and he said Tyrese Halliburton is warming up like a guy who is going to play tonight. So I wanted to just kind of want to bring you guys the news.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Bookie. You got it.
I definitely like his points more because especially if he's out, it could be blowout potential, and that he could even miss the 25 and the 25 to win. So I definitely like his points straight up now. Thanks for that. But yeah. So Mitchell averaged 20.5 points on 20.1 field goal attempts. He's had the 25 plus and 22 of 31, and the Cavs are 16-6 straight up when he scores 25. So if you like that. In the game versus Indiana, obviously, I think it was just 5 or 6 games ago, Mitchell dropped 41, hitting 8 threes. Indiana allowing the 5th most points per game and 10th most threes to shooting guards over the last 30 days. Shooting guards recording plus 3.3 points to the average and plus 0.5 3-pointer made to the average. Also, Indiana a lot better at guarding the point guard too. And a lot of times when you're looking at those position versus defense stats, they're kind of skewed because some point guards you'll see as shooting guards and vice versa, but it's still really consistent. They're middle of the pack to over the last 30. They're pretty good against the point guard, but getting lit up by the shooting guards. So I like that. 13 to 20, 8 to 12 shooting guards, shooting 18 plus field goal attempts, have scored 25 plus. So if you want to take that, put 25 plus in the win still. Mitchell obviously averaging 20 and 24 field goal attempts versus Indiana previously. And like you said, Garland sometimes just does not show up on the road, so he'll definitely have a lot of the volume. The Degenalytics database, a great database. It's paid subscription on Patreon, only $10 a month though. So if you got a decent unit size, you can easily cover that. I think it's a great service. But anyways, so they have secondary ball handlers, or Garland is listed as a primary ball handler, and Mitchell is a secondary ball handler. Over the last 30 days, Pacers are allowing minus 0.17 points to the primary ball handler, but plus 1.4 to the secondary ball handler. So that supports the point guard versus shooting guard scoring against the Pacers so far. Indiana is allowing the 9th highest score frequency and the 4th highest points per possession to pick and roll ball handlers this season. This season, Mitchell's top 97 percentile overall in the NBA in the pick and roll. Second in the NBA in points per possession, second in efficient field goal percentage, and 5th in score frequency. I really love Mitchell to get it done today. With Fred VanVleet ruled out, I actually like OG Anunoby's points under a little more because it's going to go up. With VanVleet out, when I looked it up on StatMuse of the last 2 seasons, it was a decent increase. I think it was plus 1.5 points per game. But then when you filter without VanVleet, but with Siakam, it was only up, I think, 0.5 or 0.7 points. Going to be running around guarding Ja today. And that this has been very good against guarding the small forward, obviously mostly in part due to Dylan Brooks. I obviously think he matches up on him today. It makes the most sense. So I really like that. In the Cleveland game too, if Halliburton is playing, I liked it a little more if he wasn't. But Turner under points, obviously Cleveland incredible at guarding the center, just incredible interior defense as well. But I think because in the one game without Halliburton this season, Turner scored 26. So if they did boost that point lineup at all, I would like to take the under just because Halliburton does create a lot better shot quality for Turner being such a great playmaker. So I just think against a team like Cleveland, especially if Halliburton does not play, even though you said it's looking like he is gonna, I would definitely lean his under. But yeah, that's the only looks I got for tonight. I got a little bit of a late start.
No, all good, all good. I appreciate you sharing all that, Bookie. I know you always doing your research, bro. So I definitely appreciate that. Hope you cash all the looks as well, man. We also got news that Kelly Oubre is now available to play as well. Dennis Smith Jr. is ruled out. He hasn't been able to make his return yet. If you guys are looking real quick, I just want to show you guys what I was talking about with Darius Garland. I know a lot of people don't like unders, and I know eventually Garland's going to get it together. I like I said, I'm a firm believer in Garland. I like Garland a lot. But if you take a look at his home versus road splits, I mean, this is astronomical. Dude is averaging 25 points at home. And I've talked about this before. 25 points at home on 51% shooting compared to 16 points on the road and only 34% shooting. And it really doesn't matter who they're playing against. Like, they just played against the Spurs, and he also couldn't score the ball a few weeks ago against the Spurs as well. So I think the Pacers playing better defense now. Like I said, his points, rebounds, and assists is sitting at 32.5. You look at these numbers, right? I mean, I'm not the greatest mathematician, but I know 16.3 plus 7.3 is 23.6. And then I look at his rebounds, which is 2.9. So we just run that up to 3. And I'm seeing 20, what's that, 28? 23 plus 3. I mean, I'm sorry, 16 plus 3 is 19. 19 plus 7 is 26. So that's a huge, huge gap if you think that this guy is going to, go under his continue to play as he has been playing recently on the road.
To add to that real quick, Chris, Indiana's actually allowing the 28th or 28th most points to point guard. So obviously bottom of the league, 20th most rebounds and 24th most assists. So the stats definitely support that. I think I might get on that with you.
Yeah, I think I might put something small on that as well, Bookie. When I capped it last night, it was at 32.5. I woke up this morning, it was down to 31.5. So people are playing the unders. I know a lot of people don't like unders, but you know what I like? I like profit. I don't care if it's under, over, middle, backwards, whatever it is. And then, just to kind of support the just because I'm here already, just to kind of support the Donovan Mitchell play I was telling you guys about. You look at Donovan Mitchell home versus road splits. And like I said, 29.4 points. So I like him to go over, the 27.5 because we do have a 2-point gap right here. And you see all the numbers if you guys are watching on YouTube. Field goal attempts go up on the road. He's shooting the ball one more time, making one more shot attempt as well. 3-point percentage goes down just a tad bit, but he's still shooting 9 a game. And that's what you're looking for. Minutes of this, consistently there. 36.5 on the road. So yeah, appreciate you, Bookie. And I hope you cash the look tonight. I like that we're aligned too, bro. Frag, let me kick it to you. Ben and Stefan, I'm coming to you guys as well. What up, Frag?
Yo, Chris, what's going on, brother?
I can't call it, bro. You tell me.
Shit, man, nothing much. So yesterday, De'Aaron Fox came through for me. He played extra 6 minutes, and you saw what happened, man. He played 31 the last game, and then they played 37 the next one. So,
yeah, shout out to Ben. I know Ben that gave that stat out, did some deep dive in there. He had talked about how, and this, this is things that you guys should know, right? We should have like a notepad out. I put the notepad in the tweet before I start, but these are, just key notes, especially as the season goes on and we get more data about these teams, right? Ben came up yesterday and he said that De'Aaron Fox plays more minutes on the second night of a back-to-back and has stronger performance on the second night than he does on the first night. So I'm glad you acknowledged that, Fred, and shout out to Ben for, sharing that with us as well. What up, Fred?
Yeah, he smashed them boys in the fourth quarter, man. Fox different than the fourth.
Right.
He like top 5 clutch points or something. They put like a little stat up and shit.
Yeah.
But I'm on Jarrett Allen points rebounds at 24.5. I just think as far as Cleveland goes, you know how you mentioned the road struggles with Garland and, the role players ain't playing as, how they do at the road on the home. I think Jared Allen could be in a good, bounce back spot, especially against the Pacers, man. They just kind of give it up to the centers as far as rebounds and points. And, his shots are not going to be like difficult ones. It's going to be dump downs, dunks, and just like, it's not like three balls or, mid-range shots. So, like, I feel like he could have an easy time against Indiana today. And just because, like, the way they played last game against Brooklyn, they were relying too much on Garland and Mitchell, and you saw Mitchell struggled to just, do too much on the perimeter. I feel like they got the big guys. They got to use them, to, get just relieve the pressure off the guards. The guards can't carry them through the whole thing. It's got to be a team effort. So I look for Jared Allen to have a big game here, 24.5 points, rebounds. I like that. And then my second play is kind of nasty. I'm just keeping it simple. I'm just going based off roster and how they've been playing as of late. I like Charlotte Hornets money line today against the Thunder. I know it's kind of ugly, but just the way LaMelo's been back and just kind of playing with the guys, I feel like they just kind of, want to get a couple wins under their belt. I had faded them last time against Portland. That didn't go out too well. I went 2-1, and I just seen Kelly Oubre got ruled in, so that's a big boost off the bench. Because the next game they had played against Warriors, Kelly Oubre wasn't in there. The trifecta hit. So I feel like him coming off the bench is a huge, just a boost of energy, boost, points. He gets shots up, plays defense and all that. And, it's kind of an ugly pick, but I think Charlotte Hornets at home, minus 130. I think they should get there. I hope, but shit. Those are my two plays.
Yeah, Fred. I appreciate you sharing those, bro. I couldn't talk you off Charlotte, Fred. The only thing that scares me is just how hard the Thunder play, right? Which makes it difficult, right? I watched this Thunder team play the Portland Trailblazers last week twice and beat them, right? We know that the Portland Trailblazers are way better than the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? So that scares me. But like, yeah, right. Yo, Fred, the thing with the, if you actually watch basketball, and I watch, a lot of basketball games. I got League Pass. I rewatch games. I'm watching highlights, breaking stuff down. If you watch this Thunder team play, they just play so hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like almost like a college basketball team. But I couldn't talk you off your play, bro. But, they play a little too hard for me, with Charlotte. I do feel like Charlotte's due for a win here soon, but I don't know if it's gonna be tonight, Frank. I hope you cash it though, bro, because I ain't against you.
Yeah, it's an ugly one. It's definitely like a half a unit joint. Just something for the 7:00 game, just to get the blood going.
Yeah, get some action. Okay. Hey, best of luck, Fred. Best of luck, bro. Absolutely. Ben, coming to you, and then Stephen coming to you as well. What up, Ben?
Man, it's been a good run. I think we're all doing pretty well here, right?
I know you are, Ben.
We're doing okay, right? A note on that Thunder game, man. Dude, the Thunder just kind of match up like really well with everybody. Dort's an elite defender. Shy's long as hell. Like Darius Baisley's athletic. Giddey is probably the tallest pure shooting guard in the league at like 6'8", right? And then you got a couple different big men that can kind of play like those kind of like paint clobber centers off the floor. Like the Thunder can cause some problems. Like this ain't a fluke,
That's a fact.
I understand that they're like a playoff team, but like on any given night, they're going to keep games close just because they got so much length,
Yeah, it's actually pretty bad, Ben, because I'm a Laker fan. But go ahead.
For sure, I know. I'm sorry. I'm on Mitchell too. I'll add a little bit to it. Mitchell over this in 11 to 14 road games this year, 9 of 12 with Garland. You look at last game, but the only time this year where he's gone under like 20 points twice in a row. The next game after that, he had 34. Brooklyn's a bad matchup for a guy like Mitchell, like an undersized shooting guard, right? Like they got a shot blocker, Claxton. They got some length out there. KD, Simmons, and Royce O'Neal are all just a lot bigger than him. So it's hard for him to get jump shots off, and it's hard for him to get to the bucket when you got a shot blocker, right? Like, the more I talk about it like this, like Brooklyn's for real, Indiana is not Brooklyn. Indiana don't got any of that, sure, Turner, I guess, is like a decent defender, but they don't got any perimeter length or defense like Brooklyn. Mitchell's going to be fine tonight. I played it a couple different ways. I put a unit straight on just a 27.5 last night. And then I also put a half unit on under 4.5 assists for Mitchell parlayed with the 27.5 points for plus 200.
Oh, I knew you was going there, Ben. I know your analysis behind it, but go ahead. I'm listening.
He's under 4.5 assists every single road game this year without Garland, or with Garland playing the whole game except the game against the Knicks. That's the only one when he has the ball in his hands going home the whole time. That's plus 200, and then I put another half unit on the all under 5.5 assists with 25 plus points for minus 110. Kind of like almost like a mini stat teaser, just in case he gets a couple
You broke up, Ben. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Can you hear me? Yeah, Ben, I think you broke up, bro. Try to get you back up. Stephen, want to kick it to you real quick. Oh, no, Ben, go ahead. You can finish, Ben. You have broke up, Ben.
I got this played a couple different ways.
Hey, Ben, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you have broke up just a tad bit, but you were on the Mitchell Robinson play.
I said Mitchell Robinson over 10.5 rebounds. I got it played a couple different ways. Straight 1 unit on the 10.5. Then we got it laddered up to 16 rebounds. And then we also got a half unit on the double-double if you build it out, plus 190 is what I got it at this morning.
Okay.
Mitchell Robinson, to the naked eye, you look at the stats, right? It's kind of like a lot of variance with his rebound totals, but you do a deeper dive. When he faces centers that stretch the floor, he goes under. When he faces centers that don't stretch the floor, he goes over, right? He's got 3 unders this month, all to Chicago. He's got under to Toronto, who doesn't play a real center. But then you look at all the paint cloggers he plays against, and he almost always goes over, especially over this number. He's had 16 rebounds 3 times in his last 14 games. It shows that he is a volume rebounder in the right matchups. Then you look and you do a deeper dive with him straight up against Jakob Poeltl. And 2 games where he started against Jakob Poeltl in the last couple years, he just eats him alive. He averages a rebound almost every 2 minutes. So it's a really strong match for him. Double-double both times he faced him. One time with 11 rebounds, another time with 14 rebounds. And one of those games, he only played about 25 minutes. So I would imagine we see Mitchell Robinson, right? This is in back-to-back. It's not a fatigue spot. They're a little short-handed already. I would imagine he gets the full 30 minutes tonight. I don't see this as a blowout game. I would imagine the Knicks do win, or at least they come out strong to start. But I don't see this as a blowout. So I think we're going to get the full minutes load from him. And then the other guy I'm on, I haven't put in yet. So I'm waiting for the news for Brunson to be out. Both Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel Quickley's threes. One of those two is going to hit 5 tonight. I don't know which one, so I'm just going to ladder them both up to 5. I could easily see them both. Quickly in 2 starts this year, shot 9 and 10 threes. Ridiculous volume. This morning, the line was 2.5 at plus 140, plus 150 for Quickley. When Brunson gets ruled out, I would imagine it goes down to plus 120 or plus 105, something like that. But it's still, that's still really good, For a guy who we're pretty sure is going to take 10 threes tonight, and he's a pretty good 3-point shooter. To ask him to get to 3, 4, or 5, it's not really asking too much. You look at last game, he shot 1 out of 10. That doesn't just show me that he's confident himself. It shows me that if he misses the first couple, he's not going to give up on getting to this, which obviously is huge. The last thing we want is for him to miss 2 or 3 early and then just kind of hibernate. The Spurs.
Hey, Ben, you breaking up again. Can't hear you anymore. If you can hear me. A lot of great information Ben is sharing. Stephen, let me kick it to you. Ben, send me a request back up if you can hear me, Ben. You kind of broke up.
Hey, what's going on? Shout out to Ben. I agree with everything he said about Grimes and Quickly. That's actually exactly what I was going to say. You got to ladder them both up to 3, 4, and 5. I did that last game, and with RJ Barrett out, they're going to take it 9 to 10 times a game. So I love that look. But looking at this game, first off, if we could just look back at that monstrosity that was the Dallas game, when I told you,
you called it. You called it.
And I said, hey, every game there's going to be a troll. Last game it was Dinwiddie. I think it's McDermott tonight, but I'm not going to play that. But today, I love Julius Randle's first quarter rebounds, which is sitting at 3.5 at plus 104 on Caesars.
The Spurs, if you look at their game logs in first quarters, they give up to big men, especially power forwards, go and grab rebounds. They're getting torched. And Randall's been over this line 8 of the last 10 games. So he's been snatching the rebounds. I also love that bench look. Another one I'm really on is quickly. So this is speculative. I was looking all day. I was reading Steve Popper, the local writers, everyone. I just have a strong hunch that Jalen Brunson isn't going to play today. And if I'm wrong, cool, I'll eat the units. But I just think of it like this. Last game versus the Mavs was the game he had circled all offseason. And his hip was so bad that he couldn't play in that game. So you're telling me that he's going to play 2 days later. And it's so secretive. We don't know if he's going to play. So I built the Emmanuel quickly assist ladder. You can get his 5.5 at plus 108. Last game he had 23 potential assists. I think this is a big game for him where he gets the Spurs defense. They'll be leaky, as you mentioned. You could build it all the way up to 10 assists plus 700. And to me, I'd rather build it now. And if it loses, I'll take it. Because if Brunson gets ruled out, everyone and their mother's going to run to go bang those assists. So I take it now. And a long shot, I never give long shots. Here's the one I really like. So quickly, if you look at him last year, and he came close last game, but it's just Luka was in there snatching all those rebounds, same for Mitch. He's a guy who's flirted with triple doubles all the time. He had 2 last year, and they're always against the same type of team. The Orlando Magic, the Raptors when they benched everyone, teams with no interior, where there'll be those long rebounds. So I built out on PointsBet. It's 10 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds. And if you use the daily boost, you can get that at plus 72.20. He's a guy where Brunson's out, he's getting the 10 assists to me, getting the 10 points, and I'm basically praying he gets 8 rebounds on a 72.20. I'm that confident in it. So I'm not saying throw your life savings on it, but if you have a couple dollars of Starbucks money laying around, I would definitely throw something on that.
Who was that, Stephen, again?
Wait, say that one more time?
Who was that? Who was the last person you talked about?
Quickly.
Oh, quickly. Okay, yeah, no. I like that. I like that a lot. I talked about quickly earlier. And that was one of the reasons why, Stephen, I'm taking the Knicks in the first half, man. I think y'all got enough guards, and I'm pretty sure you agree. Y'all got enough guards in New York to replace RJ and and I could eat my words, but I think y'all got enough guards to replace RJ because he's not playing, and to replace Brunson if he doesn't play as well. I like y'all guard depth.
Oh, 100%. And I think it's not just a depth. These are guys who are motivated. Because Quickly's been in these trade rumors, so I always love these spots where he gets to play 30, 35. Because one, Tibbs is a lunatic. He's not going to take him off the floor. Quickly started the last game like 0-7 for 3. Tibbs told him to still keep chucking 3. So I'm on everything Quickly. Brunson's not playing. And two, I just think he's a really talented guy. He's a guy who I think could be a solid starting point guard, more of like a 6-man Lou Will type. So I really love Quickly in this spot tonight, especially if Brunson's out. Love the first half look. And what my man before me, Ben, said about the rebounds for Mitch, that's a money spot. Like, ladder that as high as you can to the moon because he's going to just swallow those rebounds all night.
Nah, I like it. I like it, Stephen. I love when you come up, bro, because I know you always got a Knicks take for me. Just like Cam always gonna have he follows his Raptors close. He always gonna have a Raptors take. Ben follows his Cavs close. He always gonna have a Cavs take. So I appreciate you guys for bringing that spot on analysis about your team that you're a little more entrenched with. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, Stephen.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, bro.
One last thing. If you ever want to find someone who to take for threes against the Knicks, take the dude who's going to stand in the corner, and take the big who's going to be on the elbow. Niang said it. I'm surprised nobody's caught on. They play this stupid drop coverage against the second unit the whole second quarter. The dude will be open for 6 threes the whole second.
Who is that on the Spurs, Stephen? Doug McDermott? Is it Doug McDermott?
Listen, I'm telling you, I always tell you there's someone who trolls the Knicks every game. It was Levine, it was Van Fleet, I really think it's McDermott tonight for 3 threes.
McDermott, okay. Yeah, and I could definitely see McDermott for sure. Yeah, this dude is sniper, you know what I mean? So yeah, okay. Hey, best of luck, Stephen. I hope you cash him, bro.
Appreciate you later, y'all.
Absolutely, man. Cam, kicking it to you. What up, Cam?
Yo, what's good? Just a big shout out again to the community. I hit on a bunch of tales the other night. The Julius Randle, the Tyrese Halliburton books I was looking at, and I liked them when I heard them, and I hit on them. So just a shout out again. Lots of money being made and given out. So respect to everybody who does give out these hits. And you for giving everybody the opportunity. It's nice to make money.
Absolutely, Cam. That's what it's about, man.
So yeah, I got something for you in the Raptors game, of course. Scotty Barnes, points and assists. Unfortunately, it went up. I got it at 20.5. It's at 21.5. Fred VanVleet's been ruled out. I had a feeling he wasn't going to play, so I played it when I saw it at 20.5. He's back essentially, kind of like he was having a really poor go of it for a bit. But his last two games, like he cleared the 20.5 on points in one game, and then he was like 17 and 12 last game. He's being asked to be a bit more aggressive, be in the paint, to play within the offense a bit more. So we're seeing it. And I just think 20.5 is too low for a dude who can hit that. Honestly, he can hit that in points on any given night. So knowing Fred VanVleet's going to be out, I'm confident if anyone wants to play 21.5, go play the 21.5 because that's the number it's at now. So that's an official for me. And then we're going to go back to the well on taking fakes against the Raptors. Brandon Clark, it's set at 9.5 right now. There's a good chance. I mean, listen, Adams can get to his too. His is set at 7.5. The problem I have with Adams is he doesn't take enough shots. He's not really much of a putback guy, but we saw what happened with Zubac. Zubac hit his over 8.5 in the first quarter, I think, against the Raptors. We're small. We're a small team. We're long. We switch everything, but we're not great on the boards. We allow a lot of putbacks. And Brandon Clark's a rim runner, so I'm taking his 9.5, over 9.5 at plus 100. So just to get double digits again, this is hit in the last 8 games. Basically, whoever the big is, I know Brandon Clark's not starting, but he'll get plenty of minutes. I think he can do it. So those are my two officials and one lead. I mean, the man that was just up here spoke about it a lot. I was actually looking at Quickly's assists at over 5.5 at minus 110 right now. So that's one place I'm leaning, and I'll probably get in on it now, just in case he's right. The number might go up if Brunson gets ruled in, but I really like that look. And I'm on Donovan Mitchell like everybody else. Ben put me on that earlier, but I went straight. I just took 30 because by the time I looked at it, it was at 28.5, and I kind of have a rule where when I see 23.5 or 28.5, I typically just go with the 25 or the 30 to get the plus money, because when I was looking at Donovan Mitchell too, he's either going to get above 30 or he's going to miss.
Right, he gonna finish with 33 or he gonna get 19. I'm with you, Ken.
You know what I mean? He's either going to get 33, 34 tonight, whatever, or he's just going to 21, 22. Watch tonight, he gets 29. But yeah, so I'm on Donovan Mitchell, plus 110.
Okay.
Just 30 plus.
Okay, so Donovan Mitchell, Scotty over the 20.5 points plus rebounds. And what was your other look, Ken? 21.5. What was the other one?
The other one's Brandon Clark over 9.5.
Clark over 9.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Best of luck, Ken. Best of luck, bro. I hope you cash them for sure. Best of luck to you. Let me kick it to Estavan. I think is how I pronounce that. I hope I ain't butchered that too much, and then I'm gonna come to you, Dream. Estavan, can you hear me? Man, fell asleep. You said he was waiting too long. Dream, I'm gonna kick it to you. What up, Dream?
What's the vibes, man? How you?
I'm good, Dream. Trying to get some cash, bro. I ain't had the greatest night last night, man. So I'm looking for a bounce back. Some crazy stuff happened last night, it felt like to me.
Man, who you telling? LeBron hooked me, man. He didn't take no shot the last 5 minutes of the game. He had 27. I took his points for the first time all year. Yeah, man. Burks cashed me out. I had him to score 20 at plus 900, but that was my saving grace.
Who was that? Who was that, Dream?
Alex Burks.
Oh, Alex Burks. Okay, Detroit. Got you. Okay.
Yeah, I've been playing him a lot. But I got a few looks, man. I'm gonna be as quick as I can. For my straights, man, I played shy over 31.5 points. Self-explanatory, high-paced game going against the Hornets. Don't play no D. He can get whatever he wants. So if he won it, he got 40. I also played his triple-double. I got it at plus 4,500, which is 10 rebounds and 10 assists. And I got that at Resorts World Bet, but you can probably make it yourself, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and get great odds. I got plus 4,500. I'm also going to play something where he scores 38 and 8. I just feel like he's going to have a crazy game. I got Kawhi over 20.5 points. I got that first thing in the morning is 21.5. That's fine. I'd still play it. It's just too low for me in a game that I think is going to be close and that the Clippers going to try and win. Hopefully Boston don't blow them out, but if it's close, he's going to clear that. And Brandon Clark, I've been riding with him. His points and rebounds over. He just been hitting it like mellow threes. It's 14.5. I love it. He can clear it in the first half. I also sprinkled his double-double at plus 1,100. He had 8 and 8 last game. And he had foul trouble. So, yeah, those are my 3 straight bets. And as far as like long shots, I agree with everything people were saying about Quickly and Grimes. I love Quickly double-double. Got it at plus 700. I did something with his triple-double. I got that around like 3,000. Grimes scored 25 at FanDuel was plus 900. I played that. Shy to score 30. Not Shy. Kawhi to score 30 plus 700. I played that. And Grant Williams. I haven't got any lines on him, but I love his threes tonight. I feel like they're gonna play Zubac off the floor. Probably play him at the 4 to 5. And the last time they played LA, I'm pretty sure he went off. So that could just be a good matchup. So I'll be waiting for that.
Okay. Dream, real quick before you dip. I like the looks, bro. What about your boy LaMelo today? We ain't on his threes again, or we ain't on his points? Stayed away.
Okay. So like with me, I either play like people straight or I like put him in parlays. So I'm gonna have him in some parlays for sure. I do love him to go off. I play this triple double, which I do every game, but the threes is too juice for me, man. The threes is,
I saw that.
Like 145, and then the points. I really, really, really like the points, but I'm a little worried about Dort and old boy got ruled in Oubre. So if the points go down to 22. Yeah, maybe even 23.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Maybe I'll play it straight, but aside from that, I'm gonna just, I like him. I'm gonna have some money on him somewhere, but I just ain't straight bet him.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I was telling somebody last week that when his points was at 21.5, I said I think I'm gonna take LaMelo points every single game. Whether I give them out on the show or not. Until they go up to 25, because I figured they was gonna get there eventually, and that that's what we've seen. I do think that is interesting to know though, because I see Euphoria talked about it in the chat as well. That the line for LaMelo PRA being a tad bit too low. I think he said it was at 36.5 being a tad bit too low. And I think it's what you said, Dream. It's because Kelly Oubre is back. It's because role players typically play better at home. So, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a PJ Washington game or, if it was a Terry Rozier game, right? Terry Rozier has been playing pretty bad recently. And also, I was actually looking at Terry Rozier because OKC gives it up to not just the point guard, but they give it up to the shooting guard as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if, it was him. So, you got to kind of pick and choose your spots, man. I know the other night I did the night space and people were all over Paolo in that game. And, it's a lock and, it's automatic. And Paolo then came back to back and had like 8 points in his last 2 games, dude. But it's no shade to Paolo because he's a rookie. You're going to go through that rookie slump at times. But, I say all that to say that nothing is ever, guaranteed. Nothing is ever free, So, just take that into consideration, man. Cap, like you hear some of the people on the show do, have your analysis around why you like to play. Don't just, take it because it hit every single time, because it could be in a different situation and it doesn't hit the next game. So just things to kind of take into consideration. But I like your looks, Dream. I like them a lot, bro. And I hope you cash them as well. Probably gonna end up getting it with Kawhi. I said that he was in my bet slip. And as far as LaMelo, I did play him straight, Dream. I played his rebounds. Just because OKC gives up a lot of rebounds. I played his rebounds at 8. I played him at 8, Dream. I played him at 8 rebounds for plus 120 earlier because the 6.5 was like a minus 138. And y'all know I don't drink too much juice. I like water and wine myself. So I stayed off the 6.5. Like I said, too low. Either he gonna get 8 for me, or I'm gonna lose my money, and I'm totally fine with that. I think he got a chance to get 8 in the spotlight today, though. So that's what I played, Dream.
I just want to say real quick, I love that, man. Whether he get his shots or he get like the almost flirting with a triple double, he gonna be heard from in this game.
No, that's a fact.
Against shot, he gonna be heard from.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah. Yeah,
All right, man.
absolutely.
Best of luck. Appreciate it.
Nah, for sure, Jane. Appreciate you as well, bro. Best of luck to you as well. Let me kick it to Mark real quick. Mark ain't been up here in a minute. I don't think Mark been up since the season started. What since last season? What up, Mark?
Yeah, hey Chris, thanks for bringing me up, man. I know I don't come up here that much, but I had a look here a couple looks on Derek White. I haven't heard anyone mention anything about Derek White, so he's starting shooting guard today. And I do a lot of contrarian type of looks, and I do a lot of lineup looks, and I kind of look at the splits with different people in and out of the lineup and stuff. And I usually like Derek White when he starts actually as a point guard, not a shooting guard. But right now I'm looking at his steals, and they're too juiced up to mess with. But on his home games, he's covered that 9 out of the last 10 times. And then I ended up looking at his PRA, because that steal I think was like minus 170. And then on the DraftKings and the MGM one game parlay engine, his steal comes down to 150, and I also really like his PRA. Now his PRA, his look on his PRA is also kind of contrarian against the forwards been going off lately. I know you say you like Tatum and everything. I'm kind of looking for them to allow some more time and everything and usage to Derek White, and I think Derek White could easily get his around 10 points and 3 or 4 rebounds and maybe a couple assists. So I'm looking at that 16 PRA on him, and if you put that, I think his main line was 16.5. But if you want to tease that PRA down and take him for that steal, I took his PRA 16 PRA and his steal for plus 185. I know it's parlaying. I was a little reluctant to come up here and start giving out a parlay, a spicy plus 185 parlay, but I really like that, and I intend on cashing that today, so I wanted to share with you guys.
No, I appreciate that. I like that you intend on cashing it, Mark. That's what we're trying to do, man.
Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to mention about his steal, because I really do like, that was my original look, was his steal. And I've been hitting those live a lot, so that's the other thing I could do is, if he hasn't stolen, by halftime and the books are lacking, I'm going to attack the books on that steal.
Okay.
So yeah, that's it. But that official for me is that 16 PRA with the steal plus 185 on. I think I did that on MGM.
16 PRA for Derek White. I mean, somebody gonna have to step up, like you said, Mark, without Brogdon being in there because he's out because he's hurt. Okay. Best of luck to you, Mark. No, go ahead.
Thing, I just want to throw this out real quick. You mentioned that you didn't like JJJ getting in the foul trouble and all that. I was looking at him earlier, and I actually like him for plus money points. I bought his 15 points. And the reason on that was, I think I don't got my notes in front of me, but I was looking at his road and home splits, and I saw something I liked in there, and I don't have it down in front of me, but I just want I took plus money on his points, so hopefully he don't get in that foul trouble. But I'm always looking at his live steals too.
Yeah, no. I couldn't talk you off of it, Mark. Dude has a tremendous potential. He make bonehead plays, man. I can't put my money on on that. So I hope you cash it though. Definitely hope you cash it. No, absolutely. I typically play Jared Jackson Jr. at home too. He typically stays out of foul trouble at home for some reason. So, but I hope you cash it though, Mark. Like I said, nothing official I'm on the opposite of. So I hope you cash it, bro. Let me kick it back to Ben real quick. I know you had some stuff you was trying to share, Ben, before you got disconnected, and then I'll go over my officials and we're gonna get up out of here. Game starting about 35 minutes. What up, Ben?
My bad with that. I was just gonna say, whenever teams have a chance to play a center like Steven Adams off the floor, like they're going to. So like I agree with everything everyone's saying about Brandon Clark. I think the exact same thing's gonna happen with Mason Plumlee. I like Mason Plumlee under the 10.5. If you look at OKC the last 5, 6, 7 games against centers, they're not even getting close to 10.5 rebounds. It's like 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7. They kind of got the ability to do that playing Baisley or Pokashevsky or one of these kind of overstretched guys at the 5. And the thing is Charlotte's not going to have to put up with that because they got PJ Washington, who could easily be a pseudo center against another kind of perimeter center too. Plumlee's been kind of hit and miss, and it's the same idea. Like when someone plays him off the floor, he just don't play. So for the same reason that everyone likes Brandon Clark, which I do too, I like Mason Plumlee for the same. That's all I want to add.
Mason Plumlee, but that was his. You said it's his under
10.5.
Under 10.5 rebounds. Okay. Yeah, that actually that goes well, Ben, with my over for LaMelo. So I couldn't talk you off of it.
No doubt.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off. I know, just kind of listening to people, and I appreciate all your insight, Ben. I think you got a lot of sharp looks for tonight, and I hope you cash them. Anybody who joined late, I always forget to mention this, but anybody who joins late, they kind of want to go back and listen. I try to cut the show off around 6:30, so that people can go back and listen to my analysis, can fast forward over. But everything is always being recorded, not in the space, but it's always recorded over on YouTube. So follow my YouTube channel, subscribe over there. At ChrisBeCappinn, 2 P's, 2 N's, same thing as you see, on my Twitter. I also wanted to mention, just listening to you guys talk, I think some pretty sharp guys in the chat, especially the guys that come on here and they rock with me, pretty much every single day. Looking at, some of these players for double doubles, I think could just be, taken straight. Or if you guys want to kind of parlay a couple of these double doubles, I think that there's some value there. I know a couple people mentioned Mitchell Robinson double double, which, you just kind of, you don't want him to get in foul trouble. I think the rebound should be, probably the easier one to get. But I know somebody also mentioned, the minutes probably increasing a day just because, the San Antonio Spurs are so light up front. And his double-double right now, Mitchell Robinson, if you just played it straight, is plus 160, right? So that, $100 bet would get you $160 in return. That's pretty good money. LaMelo, his double-double, 10 rebounds or points, is plus 160, right? So, putting those two together, also looking at that Cavs game, I know somebody talked about Jared Allen, his points plus rebounds, but his double-double is also plus money right now. So the Pacers give up a lot of rebounds to centers. I think they also have an advantage, even with Miles, with Miles Turner out there. They typically, he's a rim protector, but for some reason, centers still score the ball against them. So you look at those three guys specifically, if you just parlay, and I'm not a big parlay guy, but, people who looking for, the big parlays, if you parlay Mitchell Robinson double-double with LaMelo double-double, Jared Allen double-double, you would have plus 1285 odds, right? So even just a $10 bet would bring you back $128.58, right? I also think that there's some more plus money out there as well. If you were to add a leg, and I'm definitely not endorsing this, but let's just say you add Tatum, right? You think it's gonna be a defensive game. Tatum gonna finish with 10 rebounds, which he's had a double doubles throughout the season. 37.80 is what the odds will be. So $10 will bring you $378 if you were to put a tenth of a unit and you were $100 better on that bet specifically. That is Mitchell Robinson double-double, LaMelo double-double, Jared Allen double-double, and Jason Tatum to get 10 rebounds. All those plays I think are also, probably in play straight. I didn't play any of those, but I think there's some value there. I definitely think there's some value there just based on matchups, and couldn't talk anybody off of any of those plays either. So that's kind of what I got for you guys today. Real quick recap on what I did end up locking in officially. I talked about LaMelo rebounds. I took him straight at 8 for plus 120. Also took Donovan Mitchell at 27.5 points. Also took Tatum over 38.5 points plus rebounds. I like Tatum in this spot tonight. Against the Clippers on the third game in 4 nights. I think, guys shoots the ball a lot. So I expect them to, continue to shoot the ball today, to be able to rebound the ball as well. And then I played the Knicks. First half minus the 2.5. So 4 official plays for me. Knicks. First half minus 2.5. Donovan Mitchell over 27.5 points. Tatum over 38.5 points plus rebounds. And LaMelo Ball over 8, just 8 rebounds, 8 or more rebounds. So those are the 4 plays that I'm on today. Really, really like Kawhi. Just haven't hit the button on that one. I think it's a big game for Kawhi, though. I also heavily lean towards the Clippers to be able to cover that spread. I think the spread did move. I think somebody put in a chat that it's at 6 right now. Celtics down to 6. So I know it's up to 6.5. I still think that the Celtics could cover, and I think they could cover early too. I'm sorry, I think that the Clippers could cover, and I think that the game's probably a little close early as well. Maybe even look at them early. So that's what I got for you guys today. Kind of wraps up the show. Always finish, the same way, man. None of this is financial consultation. It's all theory and logic and eye tests, SDQLs and trends. And, bet with your head, not over it. We got a lot more games tomorrow. Best of luck to everybody tonight. I'm out.